when we're live. I'm not going to tell you.
My snorkel.
Okay. I talked to my parents about you today, Jimmy.
Okay, I am going to tell you we're live.
Nicolle, we're live there, buddy.
I told them about you on set, right? As the director, James Gardiner as the director. Settle in, everybody. Settle in.
Ooh, he did. He had
and action.
He's the finger director.
Yeah, Captain Seeley.
Welcome, everybody. We're live. We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tina O here with these two clowns. You'll notice that's what I said in the announcement. I'm going live with these two clowns, pulling a phrase from Mr. James Gardiner over here, who I think calls us clowns all the time. We are fresh off the shoot of Oh My God, shooting on the weekend. Our director, James Gardiner, here, and dramaturg of the show, Nicolle Nattrass, and I am Tina O. You guys know me. Oh, clown number one. Oh my God, I love you so much.
I'm clown number one. You know who you are, Jimmy?
Who is he?
I don't know. I'm the guy. I don't even know.
Just two.
Just two. Just two. So good.
God.
So this is Words Wednesday. On Wednesday, we gather and we talk about writing. And many of you know that Oh My God is my birthday party show that really wrote me. It was a show that I started to write to celebrate my 50th birthday. And as soon as I sat down to write it, it was like, what happened? And this whole other story arrived. And thankfully, my bestie over here, Nicolle Nattrass, and fellow clown, I guess I would be clown number 3, was there to hold all the pieces and help the story come out. And Mr. James Gardiner, who has received multiple Voxers from me, falling apart in various forms of who knows what. At one point, I even think he said to me, Overbury, I'm cutting you off at 2 minutes. Like 2 minutes?
Well, that was months ago. He's had to increase it up to 8 minutes now, I think.
So this is just a two of the troupe that was with us on Saturday. And I thought we could gather here and talk about what our experience was. And we're chums, the three of us, and we're a little bit incorrigible. So I don't know what's going to happen in our time together, but we are here. So I'm just going to pass. Who wants to pick up the clown stick? Who wants to go first? People are going to think this is a funny show.
I think we're all still punch drunk from the weekend. That's what I think.
Yeah, we might be.
There was a lot of energy, I was amazing. So what was your question actually? What was your question, T?
There was no question. I was just passing the clown stick over your direction to see what falls out of your mouth. And if you say snorkel, I'll punch you.
Or bowl.
Okay, go back to how amazing I was, James. I think you said I was amazing.
If people are going to get tired of me talking about how amazing you are, because that's all I talk about.
Aww.
It was amazing. It was a great experience. It was a lot of fun for all the emotional roller coaster that it was for those 2 days. Because really, it was more so for Tina than Nicolle and myself, I would gather, right? Tina went to the farthest reaches of the human psyche, the entire spectrum, basically. But it was a lot of fun, and I think honestly, I know what made it more fun is that we were all in the clown car together, and. This, as you said, Tina, you were alluding to it a moment ago, like this humor doesn't equate to actually what the story is about and the content. I think this dynamic is what kind of kept the set somewhat light throughout the 2 days, because it was challenging. It was a lot of pressure for Tina, the performer, for all of us to show up and honor the material. And I feel like we did that. And I feel like you, as I said the other day or last week, you knocked it out of the park. So it was awesome.
Thank you.
I agree with clown number 2. I also think that, there's a light sometimes there has to be a balance of light and dark, right? And a lot of this material in the show, it has those qualities of light and dark, and quite dark, right? Quite serious and quite intense. We're talking about atrocities in your show. So having that lightness is really important. I think helps to actually labor, give birth to a play, and give birth in this sense to the film shoot. And also having Marilyn and Randall there, who have super peaceful energy, really, really helped. And I think that's why, if I can add, James, that why we were able to get so much accomplished. You were very organized. And
that's a compliment from Nicolle, just so you know.
I was just going to clarify that. Did Clown 2 just throw me a compliment?
I did. I just
don't get too comfortable.
Don't get too excited about it, okay?
Okay.
But yeah, you were very organized. You were very calm. You were very focused, and that helped a great deal, right? And then, just creating that atmosphere, that environment where an artist feels supported, everyone feels supported, leading with love. We talked about that. You talked about leading with love. And from my perspective, being both an artist and a dramaturg, I feel like the emotional, what I was holding space for, yes, I was helping out with the script that day, helping you out a bit. That was exciting. And also just holding space for Tina. And part of that is so easy to do when you're in an atmosphere and a creative playground that is respectful, professional, but not rigid. And most of all, just a really loving space. Like, I think, to me, that's really inspiring. Those are the type of environments that I want to work in. And so, yeah, we even finished an hour early and were able to, have champagne and have a conversation. And that's amazing. Right. And the magnitude of this show, like even just when Tina and I started, myself as her dramaturg, at one point we laughed and said I was like, I had to be a minister of like myth and a minister of, holding space for all these historical stories of women and witch burning. Even just those conversations that we had, Tina, sitting here at my place, I'm learning that, as a dramaturg, there's a certain amount of emotional and mental labor that I have gone through. And then to be able to see you perform it and embody it was just so beautiful, My only wish is that I wouldn't have been so into my own job, that I could have been like, enjoying it more in the moment, right? Like, can we just like press pause and like replay that and go back and go, woo? But when you're in the moment, that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
So it's great to be able to have this conversation and kind of still be unpacking it, right?
Yeah.
I have to say, yeah, Nicolle, because I know sometimes the work that you did, your back was to Tina, unfortunately, with some of those. And
I did that on purpose.
Did you?
To listen to the words, and because I could hear where she was at without looking at her. It was really kind of cool. I spent my time kind of doing this.
There were a handful of moments when I was working with Randall, our cameraman, and I was supposed to cue him with a tap on the back to kind of push in. And there was a handful of times on the Saturday where I totally fucked my cue because I was in the moment of the performance, paying attention there. I was just caught up in it. And it's like, oh, fuck, and it was just, that was the beauty of what was there. It was just so, I think, Tina, you talked about this to me. I think it was to me, I don't know if it was on the weekend, but you talked about, being alive, like being alive when you're on like that, it's like you're truly in the moment. Like you're truly in the moment of existence. It's so heightened when you nail it, it's just it's unbelievable.
Mhm.
You know?
I think that something that Nicolle said last year when we were supporting Charlene Sanjenko with her solo show that she did when she opened the Fire Circle and her show Feed the Fire, and just talked about how the recommendation is that we really think anyone who's leading anything should do a solo show.
Yep.
And it really is about what you just said, James. It's the moment when you're, I'm just going to go to leadership for a sec, even though that's not what this show is about. But, you know, in a leadership moment when everyone's following you because they're waiting to find out what the answer is, what direction are we going? Cameras on, you know, there's an earthquake happening. Who knows what it is?
Yeah.
Your job is to be in that embodied place and thinking and feeling and deciding all at the same time and emotionally engaged, but not having your emotions running the show. Because if your emotions run the show, a bit of your embodiment is lost. And I think that even though for me, this weekend and this work is about the artistry, it's about showing up as an actor. But I can really see how, you know, this experience, I'm hoping, can speak to everyone listening. Because you've heard me say this before, I really think that this place that the world is in right now is the age of the artist. Because what artists know how to do, they're trained to do it. It's what we do every day, is we learn how to be in our doing. We don't learn how to think in our doing. We don't learn how to plan in our doing. We learn how to be in our doing. That's our practice. And when I think about where the state of the world is and what we're called up into right now, it is that. It's staying emotionally engaged, using our intellect, and being in our empathy in a moment.
And also, if I can add to that, you know, the whole history of solo shows has been the history of solo shows. Solo shows were created because at one particular time in, I don't know, 16 or 1700, they were shut down by the government. They were shut down. And so somebody decided, oh yeah, no one's going to shut me down. I'm going to call them a lecture and I'm just going to make it one person, because they closed all the theaters down. And the bottom line is that what also came out of that being and doing was taking a stand. And I think more than ever, certainly with the state of our world and what's happening, it's about taking a stand, and also about taking a stand, being and doing, and being in the age of the artist, where the artist actually gets to take back the art, to take back the process. And I think for me, that was really key in some way. Strangely enough, certainly both of you were in a way taking back that artist process and reclaiming it in a different way. And I'm really interested in working in spaces where there is such a creative environment that is not rigid. And a lot of our professional creative environments have gotten to be very system rigid. And what I loved about what we did is it was just seamless. It was just, you know, we're going to do this now. We're going to do this. That's incredible. And I think really in the age of the artist, that's where I want to move, certainly. Yeah. See, I've got big brain thoughts.
You know, I was just going to say, for some of the clown too.
Okay, back to you. It's James's turn to sound smart. Your turn.
Okay, James.
No, my brain's mush. Well,
Crush is on orange shirt. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh my
I don't know
God.
if it's actually orange. I think it's
tangerine.
Is it more salmon?
I love it.
Thank you.
I do.
Right.
It matches my lamp.
Oh my God. We're so smart. We're talking about the color of a shirt. Your turn, James.
A few things. As you both know, and as I shared last week, this was 19 years for me to have a reconnection to getting behind the camera and orchestrating this visual symphony. And it was amazing. It was amazing to go through, create the shooting script and to just visually see it. And I just love that creative process. I love going from, seeing Tina and the words on a page and hearing it, and then visually thinking of, okay, how this is where I think it could tie together and what we can do and push in and do this. And, and you don't know. And then you just have this, and then you get on set and, the deep Randall's like, yep, okay, let's do this. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, and you saw me, how many times did I just, after a take, go, fuck, that was awesome, right? Like that was just beautiful, or like,
or go ahead.
No, you go ahead, smart ass.
Or
say.
Sorry, or like, fuck me running, that was great, like stuff like that.
Well, at one point, let's just call it. At one point, we're like, okay, people, want you to know this is a dark show. There's going to be a lot of irreverent humor in this room. If you can't handle it, just like plug your ears.
Like that, James?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like the fuck me running quote. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But if I can just talk, I mean, just for a second about, for me, like, again, just what it did for me, it brought me back, and even just, and the two of you may not be aware of this, and Tina, you, the actor, may not be aware of this. Maybe you are, but and I didn't even think about this, but then I just remembered from 19 years ago, I'm sitting there in the scenes, and, you notice I would call action differently based on what your beat was, based on what your emotion was leading into the scene or into that certain shot, so it would be like action or action, or like, and it was just kind of, it's that dance of
I did notice that, James.
Did you?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah, I was impressed by you.
That's two. I got two today.
I know.
You did,
and you also were like hold, and you weren't abrupt, and I really appreciated that too. Like you were like hold, and you knew how to, like, that's good.
Thanks, Nicolle.
3.
Wow, she gave you 3. Look, I think he might be blushing just a little bit.
I know.
I am a little bit. Yes.
Just nervous.
A little bit. Wow.
And Tina rocked it out of the park. The day required her to be physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Is there any other ones?
All of the
Lees. Calendly. No,
Calendly.
She needed to be all in, and she was. And she stayed with her process, and she met herself every step of the way. And it was a beautiful symphony to watch. And yeah, I felt so honored to be a part of it, to be able to witness it, and also to be able to be a part of the rehearsal, from her and I sitting around in the summertime to her saying, I don't know if this is about witches.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, and like rage.
Oh my gosh. And on that note, I think some people watching this might not know what the show is about. And this is Words Wednesday too. And so we're talking about writing. And so why don't I just give a little brief about what the show is about and why it's called OMYGod. And so originally when I sat down to write this piece, it was about, what I wanted was people to walk out of the theater going, oh my God, do I believe in God? No, I think I do. Shit, did that woman do I? No, I'm not. Do I? And that's where it started. And then as I started writing, I started looking up gods and goddesses and things like that. And I'm like, where are the female gods? Yeah. I mean, there's goddesses, but all the goddesses have this kind of like the goddesses. And then there's gods. And And it wasn't until I really fell into Celtic mythology that I saw that the goddesses in Celtic mythology are like what we would think of as gods, that they were whole. They were all parts, or that one line, right, that I have in there, that we were warriors, we were dangerous, we had lovers, we were healers and seers, we were all the things.
Yeah.
And so then this work took on a whole other life, because then it was, well, why aren't women that now? And it's not just women. Like, I want to say that as well. Like, it's, why aren't we all whole? Why can't we bring that whole part of ourselves to the table? Which led to the witch burning pieces, which and then, of course, in my own work and my own exploration of God and ministry and what that means to me in my own personal journey, then that started to find its way into the text. And then it wasn't actually until we did the fifth draft, and we did a read with Dean Paul Gibson, who is the creative consultant, and will be taking us into the theater version of this in the fall. And after the read, he looked at us and he's like, what's all this? There's all this mother-daughter
baby stuff,
right? What's this baby stuff? And I'm like, what do you mean baby stuff? Well, orphanage, adopted,
Yeah, he pulled that thread.
Remember? And then I was like, well, there was this news story that I thought about putting in, but I'm not sure. And then all of a sudden, that story was the thing that tied it all together, where the God piece, the goddess piece, the character of Christiana, and it all of a sudden came together into one narrative that told me why I wrote this piece. So it's if you're watching, you're just hearing about this for the first time, this is an offering from me around with a heart of restorative justice, which is truth telling and compassion, also with a heart of reconciliation and bridge building between cultures. And there are 3 threads in this story. You will meet the Morrigan. You will meet Christiana, an 8-year-old version of myself, and you will meet Christina, who wrestles with a calling and likes to light fires. So that's the show.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That's the creative process, hey? We think we're writing one thing, and then the gods start talking, and then this and this, and then everything lands together. Wow.
Oh yeah, it's complex.
It is beautiful and complex.
Why don't we wrap up our little Words Wednesday with a bit about writing? Go ahead, James. I see you.
Yeah, my fellow clowns. I have a meeting in 30 seconds. I have to attend to. So.
All right. Well, we just want to let you know, James is writing a book right now. Don't know if there's a title for that book yet, but he's on his second draft. And that'll be arriving. And Nicole's working on a solo show as well. And you will see more writing from the 3 of us. And this show will premiere. I know you got to go. Premiere on Thursday night.
I can sign off. You can still do.
Oh, okay. Well,
I can go. You don't have to rush. Don't worry about me.
Hi, clown number 2.
Clown number 2.
Bye, ladies.
Bye. We're going to tell them how they can watch the show now. Okay. Ciao, Bella. I mean, Bo.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Meet me.
Chowie.
Chowie?
Would you get out of here? You had to go 30 seconds ago.
Okay, bye.
Bye. You know what we didn't do? What we should have done to James?
What?
James has this habit of like being across the table and chatting and just like winking at us, and we called him
up in Rhode Island, New York. He can't help it. It's like a New York thing,
right?
Every once in a while, you hear this back, like the way he says back. It's like totally New York, right? You can hear it every once in a while, and then when he says things like, the things that he says that we can't say right now,
things that he says. Okay, so you can catch Oh My God opens, but has its digital premiere during the Fire Circle 2021 One Family with Powerhouse Impact Media Group, and it is opening the conference that starts on the 15th. You can go to powerhouse.com to get your tickets, and know that it is opening that conference because fire circles are about collective wisdom. They're about unanswerable questions. They're about offering your inquiries and thoughts and potential solutions into a space to see what answers arrive between us. And my show will leave you with some unanswered questions. And so that's part of what that's about. As well, we're putting together some kind of online summer stock this summer. So you'll hear about that. And then God willing, we're all allowed to get together again. There will be a birthday party show in the fall. So thanks for being here. And any last words there, Miss Nicolle? And did I miss anything?
No, we are looking forward to launching both launches of this show. And if there's any questions that anyone has, just feel free to put a comment and a question, and one of us will be happy to get back to you. Always open to discussion, more creative discussion.
Yeah, always. And I'm going to quote you, take care of your artist. Take care of your tender heart. These are times where we want to shield our tender heart, and sometimes we need to, but remember that you are a tender-hearted human being, and it is in that tender heart where we all remember how human we are, and that there's another person on the other side of the screen.
Very important. And we can create spaces where people feel supported and where tender conversations can be had.
Yeah.
Very important.
Okay, love you all, and we'll see you all again very soon.
Bye.
Wow.
Bye.